Good morning, students. Today's class is the continuation of your previous one. We will continue with your first chapter, the story of village Palampur. In the last class, we have discussed about what are the facilities available in the village and its population. We have also discussed the factors of production, how land is fixed, what are the different farming methods to increase production, and the impact of green revolution. Today we shall continue with the next section, which also comes under farming. And the topic is, how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? Here we will learn how land is owned among the people. As we are already aware that land is very important for farming, without land, production is not possible. Here the first point is, not all the people engaged in agriculture have sufficient land for cultivation. It means not every people are fortunate enough to own a land, even if they are working in the agricultural field. Do you remember the Dalits? Who were they? In Palampur, about 1/3 of the 450 families were Dalits. That is, there were of about 150 families of the population of Palampur, and they are landless with no land for cultivation. And of the remaining families who own land, 240 families cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. They have inadequate income. Even though they own some plots of land, their size is small, due to which it does not produce enough from its cultivation and therefore leading to insufficient or inadequate income to the family. It can be understood better from the story of Gobind. In this story, in around the year 1960, Gobind was a farmer with 2.25 hectares of largely unirrigated land. With the help of his 3 sons, Gobind cultivated the land. Though they didn't live very comfortably, the family managed to feed itself with a little bit of extra income from one buffalo that the family possessed. There was a man called Gobind. He was a farmer, and he owned the land with an area of 2.25 hectares. He had 3 sons who helped him in cultivation. Though they did not have a sufficient and comfortable life, the family managed to feed themselves with whatever little income they could get from the buffalo they had, by using it for milking and other purposes. Now, some years after Gobind's death, this land was divided among his 3 sons. Each one now has a plot of land that is only 0.75 hectare in size. Even with improved irrigation and modern farming method, Gobind's sons are not able to make a living from their land. They have to look for additional work during part of the year. After some years, when Gobind died, the land was divided among his sons. Now each of them got 0.75 hectare in size of land. As the land became smaller, even by using modern farming method and improved irrigation, they could not yield sufficient enough to make a living. They have to depend or look for another work. Now let us look at the picture 1.5 in your book. It is the aerial view of distribution of cultivated land in Palampur village. Look carefully. How is the land distributed here? Is it even? Do they have same size of land? No, the land is unevenly distributed. Some are small and some are large. Small farmers cultivate on these small plots of land, and you can see more than half of the area covered by plots are quite large in size. Now, in Palampur, 60 families of medium and large farmers cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. And a few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. If you compare these, you can see that Dalits have no land. Here small farmers have small plots of land that is less than 2 hectares in size. Here medium and large farmers have more than 2 hectares of land, and a few large farmers have over or more than 10 hectares. Here you can see the land here is clearly unevenly distributed. There may be questions based on how is land distributed. So if they ask whether the land is evenly distributed or not, then you have to answer that land is unevenly distributed. Remember this point. After land, labor is the next necessary factor for production. So, who will provide the labor? Who are the laborers? Let us discuss these questions in this topic. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Here small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. In this, the members of their own family provide their labor in cultivation. But in the case of medium and large farmers, they hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Now the question arises, who are the farm laborers? Farm laborers come from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. As we have just discussed that families with no land and owning small plots of land less than 2 hectares cannot make their living, so they look for work. These people are involved as farm laborers. Now let us see what are the aspects of farm laborers. The first one is no right over the crops. It means farm laborers have no right over the crops that are grown. Unlike farmers, they don't have the right on the crops that is grown on the land where they are cultivating. They are just rendering their labor, and in wages paid in cash or kind, their day of work is paid either in cash or kind. Kind in the sense they are paid in crops. They get their payment either in the form of cash money or some portion of crops are given to them instead of money. Their wages vary from region to region, from crop to crop, from one farm activity to another, like sowing and harvesting. And also there is a wide variation in the duration of employment. Here, a farm laborer might be employed on the daily basis or for one particular farm activity or for the whole year. There are some problems faced by farm laborers as well. Dala is one such character who lives in Palampur. Let us see what he has to say and what are the problems faced by him and the others. There are some problems faced by farm laborers. Dala is one such character who lives in Palampur. Let us see what he has to say and what are the problems faced by him and the others. Dala being landless farm laborer, he works on a daily basis where he gets paid for his work per day. As he is a daily wage worker, he has to look for work almost every day. No work means no income for him. As per government minimum wages, farm laborers was set at rupees 60 per day. But Dala was getting only rupees 35 to 40. As the population of farm laborers are high, it is very difficult for them to find work, so people agree to work even in a low payment. There is a competition for work. Dala and Ramkali belong to the poorest people in the village. They complain about the problems faced by them. Let's see what they are talking about. This is the picture, the conversation between Dala and Ramkali. He says that being a daily wage worker, Dala is available to work every day, but he is getting to work only for few days, which makes him hard to earn sufficient money for living. as both Dala and Ramkali are available to work whole year, but they don't get work easily. In the case of Ramkali, the large farmer whose name is Ghanshyam, he recently bought harvester to harvest crops, because of which she worked only for less than 5 months in a year. Even in Dala's case, they have the capitals which overtook their work. Capitals such as tractors for plowing, harvester for harvesting, threshers for threshing, even for removing weeds. Some farmers spray weedicide. Being hopeless for not getting job, Ramkali plans to look for job in Raiganj as a brickmaker. Dala also expresses that he has to pay rupees 2,000 to the money lenders as he took rupees 1,000 as a loan. With no work available to him, he could not pay in time and the interest charged by the money lender is increasing day by day. Same goes with Ramkali. Due to the debt she had, the money lenders are not ready to give her loan anymore. This conversation shows that many farm laborers face many problems and how they are unemployed. After land and labor, the third factor of production is capital. We will look into the capital needed in farming. We have already discussed what is capital and how many types of capital are there. There are physical capital, under which comes fixed and working capital, and there is also human capital. We have already studied that in the previous class. From this chart, you can understand that modern farming is capital intensive. In the modern farming method, they require capital to do the farming. Now the question arises, where does the capital come from? As small farmers don't have enough money, they have to borrow money in order to arrange capital for them. So who lends them money? They get money from the money lender or the traders in the form of loan. Money lenders are those who give money to the people. They don't give it for free. Every month they charge some % of interest, which increases until the borrower pays them back. In the story of Savita, who is a small farmer, we will understand the process of money lending and the loan. Savita is a small farmer. She plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, she needs cash to buy water and repair her farm instruments. She estimates that the working capital itself would cost a minimum of rupees 3,000. She does not have the money, so she decides to borrow from Tejpal Singh, a large farmer. Tejpal Singh agrees to give Savita the loan at an interest rate of 24% for 4 months, which is a very high interest rate. Savita also has to promise to work on his field as a farm laborer during the harvest season at rupees 35 per day. As you can tell, this wage is quite low. Savita knows that she will have to work very hard to complete harvesting on her own field and then work as a farm laborer for Tejpal Singh. The harvest time is a very busy time. As a mother of 3 children, she has a lot of household responsibilities. Savita agrees to these tough conditions as she knows getting a loan is difficult for a small farmer. In this story, we can see that Savita, to cultivate her own land, besides using the modern farming method, that is seeds, fertilizers and pesticides, she still needs some money to repair her equipments and to buy water for her land. The total estimates she has made is around rupees 3,000. She doesn't own that much money, so she has to take loan from the large farmer who is Tejpal Singh. Tejpal Singh agrees to give loan to Savita, but at an interest of 24% for 4 months. This 24% is very high for small farmers like Savita. But without having any other choice, she agrees to take the loan. And to repay him, she agrees to work on his land for rupees 35 per day. Savita is already a mother of 3 children, but without having any choice to feed her household, she has to take the work and the loan to make a living. Small farmers like Savita has to take loan to do the farming, whereas the medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. From the money they have saved, they buy capitals from those money. Here we can see that rich is becoming richer and poor is becoming poorer. With this, today we will stop today's class. What did we learn today? We have learned that the land is unevenly distributed among Dalits, farmers, medium and large farmers. Secondly, small farmers with no land are the farm laborers. They are paid on daily basis, their employment varies and they have no right over the crops. We have also seen that modern farming method is capital intensive. To get the capital, small farmers buy capitals by borrowing money from the moneylenders, and large farmers, they have savings from their own farming. I hope you have understood the lesson. And the next topic we will study in the next class. And this is your homework for today. Question 1. How is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? Explain. For question number 2, who are the farm laborers? And question number 3, explain how the capital is bought by the small farmers. Write this homework and submit me in time. Thank you.